In 2016, American researchers deciphered a mysterious murder in the Middle Ages. Rereading and investigating the assassination attempt on a nobleman planned by the Byzantine emperor, the Muslim caliph, and the victim's wife. The assassination of Hassan bin Ali with mercury chloride. One of the earliest and most famous biological assassinations in human history was the method used by Pharaoh's physician, Sinuhe, to assassinate the leader of the Hittites around 1300 BC using poisonous syrup. This style of murder was later used more seriously to silence political, religious, and scientific opponents. And even at times in history, it became a cowardly practice for massacres. Today, the mysterious and terrifying nature of these operations leads many scientists to investigate more in similar cases. The official quarterly journal of the British Academy of Forensic Sciences, BAFS, also known as Medicine, Science and Law, examines one of the most painful biological assassinations in the heart of history. The multidisciplinary research team of this article from various scientific institutes and universities in the US have tried to deal with the assassination of the grandson of the Prophet of Islam, peace be upon him, and his progeny, Imam Hassan bin Ali, peace be upon him. A murder that took place in the years after the death of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his progeny, intending to eliminate his family. The team of the author states the purpose of this research as follows: legal investigation and causes of a mysterious death through mineralogical, medical, and chemical facts based on recorded eyewitnesses' evidence of the poisoning of the second Shiite Imam.
Hi, this is Cyrus Rafat here in Roseville, California in the United States. I participated with Dr. Mousavi, Professor Mousavi, and several other folks that you know in regards to the Al-Hassan death. It was a 7th century research journal project that we basically completed.
To explain the socio-political conditions of the period after the martyrdom of Imam Ali, peace be upon him, it is stated at the beginning of this article that Imam Hassan faced his enemy, Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan, who was introduced as the caliph in Jerusalem in 660. Hassan resigned from the caliphate in the same year, arguing, "I have deemed it expedient to make peace with him, and I have made a covenant of loyalty with him because I know better that peace is better than anything that causes bloodshed." Definitely, Imam Hassan, peace be upon him, was the winner. However, according to Rasul Jafarian, a professor of history at the University of Tehran, reasons such as the Imam's companions and commander's weakness, the time, the political situation, and saving the Shiites made the Imam accept the peace. Muawiyah still attempted to assassinate him. In an interview between Fotros Media and Wilfred Madlan, a professor at Oxford University in 2018 entitled Caliphate, he mentioned the martyrdom of Imam Hassan, peace be upon him. The issue of Muawiyah's succession and his efforts to announce Yazid as the crown prince confirms the narrations that Imam Hassan, peace be upon him, was poisoned at the instigation of Muawiyah and by Ja'da bin al-Ashad, the Imam's wife.
And most likely he used a poison to get rid of Ali, but that of course then
After almost 1400 years, the scholars of this research, based on the unavailability of an autopsy, consider the historical documents confirmed by the two branches of Islam, the Shiites and the Sunnis, as the only available evidence to examine the martyrdom of Imam Hassan, peace be upon him. The ruler of Nishabur writes in his book, Al-Mustarda, Hassan ibn Ali was poisoned many times. He was saved from death every time, but for the last time, his liver ruptured and he died. But there are any reports in history that the toxin has been described qualitatively? Al-Tabari writes about the poisonous substance given to Imam Hassan, peace be upon him. Gold slivers were given to him to drink. According to Al-Tabari's narration and toxicological review, the article discusses that the element of gold is relatively neutral and cannot be deadly. But what if the toxin was similar to gold? Thus, it would be helpful to know the geographical source of the toxin for a closer look. A specific report from Salim ibn Abi al-Jad in his book Al-Ihtijaj states that Muawiyah wrote a letter to the Byzantine emperor asking him for a deadly poison. The emperor sent him the poison with conditions. Hence, the poison used for the martyrdom of Imam Hassan, peace upon him, is from the geographical area of Eastern Rome. The mainland of the Byzantine Empire in those years is today's Turkey. To answer our questions, we have traveled to the same area. This is Izmir in western Turkey. One of the most important mineral products of this region is mercury, which has been used since 500 BC. This element has no known biological function, but it has a long history of toxic effects. For example, mercuric chloride, which is probably the first to be made by Arab chemists in the Middle Ages, was used as a serious poison. Another question is, does the poisoning mercury found in Western Turkey mines look like gold? The answer is astonishing. Environmental assessments by biologists and chemists in this research in these mineral locations show that the white mercury appears in this area in the form of a golden yellow crust. Fascinating. Now, by providing the similarity of mercury with gold slivers, we can guess the type of poison sent by the emperor for the martyrdom of Imam Hassan al-Mujtaba, peace be upon him. But another indication of the poison used for this crime is some of the clinical symptoms of what the Imam, peace be upon him, showed that are described in the narrations of the martyrdom: green skin and vomiting of blood. These are the symptoms that can be caused by swallowing white mercury. The green skin of Imam Hassan, peace be upon him, can be due to the kidney failure because of the poisoning with the white mercury. This substance acts on the kidneys and causes acute kidney failure. Also, the corrosive effects of mercury on the gastrointestinal tract cause damage and irritation of the esophagus, and the clotted blood appears to come out of the mouth. This is what has been mentioned in historical narrations, that the Imam vomited his liver.
But the real importance of the journal, in my opinion, was, especially I took from the legal standpoint, and a lot of the research that actually I did, we didn't include it in the journal because we wanted to keep it more scientific, but I wanted to also prove that had this occurred in our contemporary time period in the United States, that murder in the first degree could have absolutely have been proven under the court system that we had here. And I think I could have proved a definite case in this situation. And I think it was very important, actually, when you look at what actually happened from a comparative law standpoint. This was a clear case of assassination of a political figure, and it was, in a way, an act of terrorism against the house of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him.
This article concludes the facts of mining, medical, and chemical sciences all confirm the hypothesis that the martyrdom of Imam Hassan, peace be upon him, was due to mercury chloride poisoning. Therefore, the theory of forensic medicine is following the historical situation and circumstances that is reflected in Islamic documents that Imam Hassan, peace be upon him, was poisoned by Jada at the instigation of the Caliph and with the participation of the Byzantine Emperor. However, later this form of assassination was used many times to remove the family of the Prophet of Islam, peace be upon him, and his progeny.